played next to each other for 3 or 4 years. We just had we knew exactly what the other guy, if he grunted, we knew what that grunt meant. We had our own calls that we made up with each other. And that type of, when you can get that type of consistency and gel with the O-line, it just makes you that much better. Last year, again, it was what it was in regards to how we had to rotate guys and how we had to, we had to rep guys. You never want that, but things happen in a sport that's 100% injury rate.
So, like, who are tackles right now?
Okay, so we'll have our tackles. Left tackles will be Colton and Myron. This is, again, day one, and here's what I tell them. This is a fluid depth chart. I talk about, obviously, gelling together, but it's going to be fluid as well if they're not pulling their weight because of that competition. So we'll have Colton and Myron at left. We'll start at right tackle. We'll start Noah and Dalton Wagner. Chaboise's kind of swing a little bit between left and right, trying to find that best spot for him. So he'll kind of swing both tackles. Guard spots, at right guard, you're looking at Shane starting day one, Clennon. Behind him will be Winkle. I'm gonna move Winkle into guard, starting out at spring. Center, you're looking at Ty Clary starting out day one. Silas Robinson will start as your second center day one, with Shane also taking reps at center. And then left guard will be Cap starting at left guard, again, day one starting position. And then behind him would actually be a kid who I'm pretty excited about. He's a walk-on, but Austin Nix will be behind him at left guard on day one.
When you look at the depth and what you're building here, how much more comfortable do you feel heading into this spring than you did the last?
It's funny, we just talked about that because I do. This time last year, you knew we were thin. You knew you just now looking at what we have with the quality of walk-ons that we've brought in to help with us, with the freshmen that are coming in. Man, I'm looking at it and it's almost like, wow, where do all these guys fit? I haven't had this problem. So sitting here with better depth than we had last year. Again, depth is one thing. It's also playing ability. It's also, I have a lot of inexperience too. But being able to have those guys to help, for one, get a lot of reps, that I'm not repping a one with a one and a two, and then the twos have to go with the twos and the threes. Guys can get more quality reps. And you never want guys to say, well, they're saving themselves because they know they're about to get 30 reps in a row. But as an O-lineman mentality, sometimes if you know you're the first string guy and you're the second string guy and you may have to go with the threes, you're probably not going to get the best out of that guy when he knows that. So just to be able to have a full-on two deep, and then as I get into fall camp to have really a three deep plus, is going to be invaluable. For one, as we get into the scrimmages, different things, if I can get my starting lineup set, you can again, not rest or take care, but there's some, hey, I may only give these guys these certain reps in this scrimmage because I want to see these young guys more. I couldn't do that last year. I had to rep Yelda and B-Wall and Johnny just as much, and probably repped them too much in fall camp because I had nobody else or didn't just have the depth through injuries or guys banged up that day. So I'm in a much more comfortable position with depth-wise, but I'm still in a edge of my seat. We've got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of coaching to do. I got a lot of development to do because, again, I got a lot of young guys that haven't played.
When you look at what you have with the guys coming back, new guys added to the table, the biggest thing you want out of this offseason, power, strength, get stronger up there?
Absolutely. We definitely want to have a little bit more mass, but solid mass, not just big fat guys, and that's what they've done. Coach Carroll, Coach Brooks, they know kind of the type of lineman I like. They know how to train them of what I like, and they've done a great job of building that mass, but also making sure we can still move. The biggest thing, besides just speed, and I want to see strain. I want to see finish. I want to see guys that are just busting their tail to the echo of the whistle. And that's all of us. That's me coaching those guys harder, better, making sure that they are straining. That's them having that attitude to strain to finish too. And that's beyond the strength and the speed and that. I just want to play with a better attitude. I want to play with that attitude of it don't matter what front they're in, how many are in the box. If we call a run play, man, we need to at least get 3 to 4 yards. And that's the kind of mentality we need in that room is just that strain to finish mentality.
You talk about that strain, and a lot of the criticism last year with this O-line was protecting the quarterback and not having Ty Story or Connor Nolan or whoever it was back in the pocket on the ground at the end of the play. When you talk about that strain, how will that play hand in hand with getting better in that area?
Yeah, especially, we talk strain and run game, but strain and pass protection is huge because most guys are going to be able to mirror, mirror for maybe 1-2 seconds, but it's that 3-4 play breaks down where guys aren't getting open or whatever it is that we've got to strain and keep finishing and mirror those guys and hand fight, whatever it takes of keeping ourselves between him and the ball. And that's really what it takes. So the strain to finish, it's obviously in run game, but in pass protection, you've got to mirror that guy for a while. And we've definitely got to get better at that. We've got to get better at making sure that, for one, our technique's good, where we're not missing on guys, or we're not, we're setting right on the right technique, but also we're just straining no matter what it is. We're straining for that finish.
I want to ask you about recruiting. Obviously, no specifics, but how well the staff has been able to recruit and a special formula, why you feel that you and the rest of your staff have been able to be so successful in a short amount of time.
Yeah, it really is all driven from Coach Morris. I mean, he pushes us every day in recruiting. It's it's every day it's constant rolling. And I think for us as a young staff on the offensive side of the ball, kids relate. And again, I'm only kind of talking about kind of our room, but kids relate, I think, well to Coach Craddock, Coach Stepp. Obviously, Coach Lunny's still young, even though we call him kind of the old man, and Coach Traylor's definitely the old man. But he relates really well to those guys. Just talking with Coach Traylor, he's coaching in East Texas. He's dealt with those kids a lot. He's dealt with kids from all ages. He knows how to talk to them, knows how to deal with them. Coach Stepp, man, he's a guy that can build relationship just like that. As soon as you start talking to him, you just like, man, I feel something like a pull to this guy. So we all have our different styles, and I think our styles meld really well together. And in our room, I feel like we do such a good job of helping each other out. If a kid is in Coach Traylor's area, but he's an O-lineman, Coach Traylor knows that I'm hitting him up too. If I know Coach Traylor's hitting him up. If we have a receiver in my area and Coach Stepp knows I'm hitting him up, we do a good job of covering each other's backs. But I do think for us, I think we relate well to kids, and I think we know. For one, I'm falling out a little bit of the fashions and the styles and. Man, the social media stuff, it changes with the wind, and the songs and the new, the memes and the high, season is SZN. I didn't know that for, different things like that. I got to have those GAs help me out, but we still can relate. It wasn't long ago. It was only 9 years ago that I took the helmet off and the pads off, so it wasn't that long ago. So, and that goes the same for Coach Craddock and Coach Stepp. I just think we relate well to players. I think we know how to talk to players, especially high school kids. I think we have a good rapport with them based on our age and just I think our energy and how well we interact as a staff. They see that it's very genuine. They see that we all love working with each other. It's not just one of those things where it's like, oh, got to go to work with Coach Lunny today. No, I actually enjoy working with Coach Lunny. So I think that's really it for those guys.
And lastly, the biggest thing you learned in the first year in the SEC and just getting that real taste of what this league is all about, how you're applying that to now.
Yeah, it's and everybody always tells you that, but you see it firsthand. It is a line of scrimmage league. It's not always about running more plays or anything. It's about we've got to cover guys up front. I've got to get my running backs to the line of scrimmage. I got to get them to the linebackers and let them work from there. but I've got to block the guys up front. I got to eliminate TFLs. I got to eliminate negative plays, anything, no gain plays. So just knowing that, knowing what type of league it is, there's some things I'll do different technique-wise. There's some things that I'll be a little bit more, adamant about. But I also, it's a league too that the defenses. We get some exotic defenses, but I felt we kind of know where those guys are going to line up because it's a more of our guys are better than you league. We're going to be here. Let's see if you can beat us. Coming from the American, because you're dealing with kids, maybe they're undersized, you see a lot more exotic stuff. And I don't think you saw that as much in the SEC because it is a more line up and beat me league. Yeah.
Line up and push it in.
That's right. Yeah, I don't need to do anything crazy. My guy's better than yours. My 3 technique is better than your guard. Let's roll, rather than me having to do a bunch of different stuff. We still see that, but not as much as we did in the American Conference. So,
Coach Fry, thanks so much.
Thank you.